Yep.
All right, guys, as of this morning, these were the updated win totals for both the Cavs and the Browns on FanDuel. The Cavs, over-under regular season wins at this point, as of this morning, 59.5. The Browns, over-under win total for the rest of this season, now, well, not the rest of the season, but in total, 4.5. If I had to ask you which one of these overs is more likely to hit, so over 4.5, so 2 more wins for the Browns, or getting to 60 wins for the Cavs, what would you say is more likely?
I would say the Cavs.
I'd actually say the Browns. How many games they won right now? 3?
3.
Yeah.
They need to win 2 more.
I don't see 2 more wins for the Browns.
I think the Denver game is winnable.
I mean, they're all winnable.
I mean,
but they're going to be an underdog in every game the rest of the year.
So I'm looking at it. If you get Miami at home,
they actually might be a favorite.
Miami
Against
at home.
Miami?
Yeah, Miami at home, and you give me the Denver game. I like it.
Only because the location and timing.
Yeah, I guess so.
And if the Bengals, think about it, if the Bengals something happened to them where their players are in playoff contention, who knows if they're going to play all their guys? T. Higgins, Joe Burrow.
I guess.
They might not even play their people like that. I could see 2 wins.
I'd actually take both of those. I like both of them.
I think I got the Cavs at 61.
I think the Browns. I kind of agree with G. They might run into a win on Monday. I do think that they can find 2 more wins in there, the way Jameis is playing right now. And with the Cavs, Mike and I talked about it on the podcast after the game Wednesday night.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the numbers with point differential and all that, they're basically right on pace in point differential to where they were the year they won 66 instead of franchise record. And if you go a step further and if you look at a lot of their numbers and efficiency numbers, this guy Ben Falk used to work in the league. He now runs this great website, Cleaning the Glass. He's projected them, and we went through the numbers on the show. His projections and the Cavs win total have been within like 2 or 3 of each other. And right now he's projecting the Cavs for 68 wins.
Let me ask you this question. When you talk about you covered the teams where you had the Cavs and they won 66 with LeBron. Obviously you come back and LeBron was on this kick where we don't care about the regular season, it's all about playoffs.
Yeah.
Who drives the goal of we want to win as much as possible? Was that the coach, the organization, or the star player?
It's the player.
So to me, I think for them to hit upper 60s, it got to be like Donovan Mitchell being like, oh, no, we about to win these games because I feel like it's important.
And he has that mentality of he's trying to win every game, every game that he plays in. So, I mean, maybe that changes because, I've talked about it 100 times. Once teams reach a certain level and then they realize the regular season isn't as important to them, that's when you see things dial back. Usually, not always. I mean, Boston's still rolling.
Yeah.
And Golden State won the championship and then won 73 the year after that. So but a lot of teams, once they see how much energy it takes, the effort that it takes to make that long run all the way through June, then they dial back November, December, January, February. The Cavs aren't at that point yet. So they're still climbing. They're still on the way up. So they're going to try and win as many games as they can. I absolutely think this is a 60-plus
To not
team.
win 60
would be a disappointment almost at this
they'd have
point.
to lose 21 more games the rest of the year, right?
Which is kind of
They're 17-2.
a lot.
So 19. So they got 63 games left, right?
Yeah.
63, and they need 43. They need to win 43.
Yeah, they win 43.
43 and 21.
So they need to go
the rest of the
33
way.
and 10 the rest of the way.
No.
No, 43.
They need to go 43 and
21.
21. That's only 2/3 of their games they have to win
21.
the rest of the way to get to 60. I think they'll definitely do that.
I remember it being 66
20,
and
34
12.
and 20.
They went 66 and 12. The Cavs
16.
66 and 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys could talk me into both.
Yeah.
I would still lean with the Cavs, but yeah, I mean the Browns.
Browns
win
can
two
run
games.
into 2 wins.
A couple wins. Like it ain't gonna be too much. Like we just look.
I guess it depends. I feel like Jameis will be a little more up and down the rest of the season.
I agree with that. But he's still going to give you more ups than Deshaun was.
Sure.
And plus, I think. So here's the way I'm thinking about it. It's just my conspiracy theory.
Go ahead.
If Ken Dorsey is calling plays, right? this is a weird situation because I think if people, you would poll the audience to say, do you think Ken Dorsey will be back next year? I think people will say 60-40, no.
I would say he's 100% going to be back.
You see them, like,
I don't think it's 100.
No?
at 60-40, I think people will say, nah, he ain't going to be back. So if I'm Ken Dorsey and I got Jameis Winston and I'm calling plays, what you think I'm calling? I'm aggressive to the max. I don't care if it's 4th and 5. I want to go for that. I want to go for 2.
But that's ultimately Stefanski's call.
Stefanski is he's a gambler.
Yeah.
So to me, I think if you give Jameis the opportunity to throw the ball a bunch, I just think watching the game, I mean, Jerry Jeudy was running routes in the snow. I was like, if they ain't running the ball now, I believe that they're going to throw this rock and see what's going on. And in that case, it gives the Browns a chance, a puncher's chance, to win a game or two that they wouldn't win if they were in contention.
If you had to pick only one, Jason, you're going with the Browns. I'm going with the Cavs. If you had to only pick one.
Only pick one, I'd take Cavs.
If I only had to pick one, I would still pick the Cavs.
Oh, okay.
I would still pick the Cavs. But I can see where.
See both.
I can see where it
All right. Mike, what about you?
I like both. I kind of think the Browns, like, I feel like they're going to run into 2 wins. If it was 5.5, I go Cavs, no brainer. But when I look at the Browns' schedule, and Steve, if you want to pull up the Browns' remaining schedule here, the last 2 slides, they have some winnable games. They've won some games we didn't think they were going to win. They beat the Steelers.
It's the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. So I think they could run into, in their next 7 games, they could run into 2 of these.
6
games. 238.
They've still got divisional games. They've got 3 divisional games.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they got the Broncos, which I think they can win.
Miami again melted last night.
They got the Steelers, who they've already beaten. I'm not saying they're going to beat them again. Then the next 4, Steve, like, you have Miami in it. Take it whenever you're ready, Steve. You got the Bengals.
Can't we get all 6 final games on one?
I could put it on one now.
Let's go.
Do that.
Let's get
the
together.
Ravens, at this point, they may be playing for a playoff spot. They may have clinched it up. Like,
yeah, they
I'm
can
not saying they're
easily
going to run
win
the table
week
by
18
any
if Baltimore
means.
sits every week.
And like I said about the Bengals, if the Bengals
The Bengals are not going to be eliminated by week 16.
what's that record?
No, the Ravens in 18.
Well, yes, that's possible.
What's the
Bengals could be eliminated by week 16.
What's the Bengals record right now?
4-7.
What are the chances the Browns have a better record than the Bengals?
I don't even know who the Bengals are playing the next 2 weeks. The Bengals play the Steelers this week.
Does Zach Taylor get fired?
No, he should be. I wish he would.
After the year, at the end of the year.
How could he not be
I
on
want
the
to
hot
say
seat?
yes, but the Bengals, they don't fire coaches quickly.
Yeah.
Ever.
What's he got left on his contract?
I don't know. I don't remember.
The Bengals have, by the way, after Pittsburgh, they are Monday Night Football at Dallas.
Yeah, they'll
Then
win
they're
that game.
at Tennessee, home for Cleveland, home for Denver.
I mean, listen,
and then at
the
Pittsburgh
Bengals have
and
been a weird team because they've scored. There's been a bunch of games. I think they have 3 or 4 games where they've scored over 30 points and lost. I don't think any other team in the league has done that more than once, if at all. So if the Bengals beat the Steelers this week, big if. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Big if. Look at, what did you say the next 3 games were? Cowboys, Titans.
Browns.
Okay.
They could go on a run.
If the Bengals beat the Steelers, they could very easily be 7-7 going into that game against the Browns.
Yeah.
In fact, if they beat the Steelers, and again, I'm not that confident in that, but if they do, I bet you they'll be 7-7 because they, as inconsistent as they've been, I can't see them losing to the Cowboys and Titans right now if they have something to play for. So I bet you they'll be 7-7 coming into this. So I doubt the Bengals will be eliminated from the playoffs.
Going back
by the Browns game.
to the question of Browns 4.5, Kevin's got a winning record in the division since he's been here.
He does.
Yeah.
So they've got 3 division games left. They're not going 0-3.
No.
They'll get one of those.
One of those,
At
they'll
least
get
one, if not 2. Especially Baltimore, that Week 18 one is kind of
Aren't they
wonky.
all on the road?
They're all on the road.
Yeah.
But
Their only home games left are against Miami
And
and
Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah.
So, I mean, that's tough.
I'm calling right now they're going to beat Miami. They're going to beat Miami.
Right. The question, I think if they beat Denver Monday, they got a shot.
They could beat Miami and win one divisional
of the
game on the
division
road,
games.
and they get to
I'm not
5.
as convinced as you are they're going to win one of those.
And-
games.
I don't think they're going 0-3.
Let me get. And this may sound stupid. Shout out to Darren wherever you at.
Darren had our guy Darren Smith had a little surgery this week.
Yeah, shout out to Darren. Speedy recovery, my friend.
Wish him the best.
Don't roll out of the bed on this one, but I think the Browns have one of them games where you pull one of the San Francisco 49ers game out of the hat.
Oh, Lord. You called them to beat the Chiefs?
Listen, I
wouldn't hold your breath on that one.
You know what? Listen, it's one of the greatest pulls of all time if it happens. Because I said they would beat the 49ers last year. I just think, like, the Browns is at home that game. I don't know what the weather going to look like. And
the weather doesn't matter. Chiefs playing that way.
And Jameis Winston is a praying guy. I could see a Hail Mary win in that game. Like, but here's the point.
We'll be floating in the Caribbean.
By the
way, do we think God pays attention to football games? Like, is he if one team prays more than the other, is that team likely to win?
No.
Doesn't God have now, personally, I don't believe in God, but if you do, that's great. I wish I did. I probably wouldn't be as stressed out about dying if I did, so I wish I did. But I always wondered, like, it never made sense to me, like, people praying to God for football games, because I'm like, if there is a God, he's got to have more, or she has got to have more important things to do than worry about the results of football games.
When you say the team prayer, I would always laugh and get up, right? And I say, God laughs a little bit. He said, "Oh, look at my little creations down there. You guys are so smart. You still believe in Santa Claus. I'm not helping you in this. I'm too worried about. I'm in Afghanistan right now. His God is in the Middle East right now. God is trying to. We're trying to work that out for about forever. Yeah. So it's all upon us. He's like, listen, go out, work hard. Who cares about your wins and losses? I've only prayed. The number one thing I pray for when I go in the field is that nobody gets seriously hurt.
Safety.
There you go.
I don't want nobody hurt.
That makes sense. I can understand that.
And even he said, well, ACLs ain't that serious.
That's true. Sometimes when I see the thoughts and prayers when a guy has like a torn ligament, I'm like, he's not dying.
You still get a job. You still get a regular job, dog. Like, you gonna go to work. Like, wake up, put these pants on. Like, but
By the way, I asked the YouTube chat what they think, what was more likely to hit, which over, and with over 100 votes, 63 went with the Cavs, 37%.
That shocks me. We have a Browns-biased audience. But
I'm going to get 2 Super Chats in, then we're going to just talk a little Ohio State, Michigan, give our picks for the big game on Saturday to end the YouTube portion of today's show before we head over to the WKYC version. 2 Super Chats. The first one comes from The Big Hurt. Hey, everyone, thank you for all the hard work you put in. I'm in the Army in Korea right now and watch every show. Go Browns, That's Cavs, awesome. Bucks, Guards. For the Browns' first-round draft pick, who would you specifically want them to draft, if not a quarterback? But before you answer that, The Big Hurt, we appreciate your service.
Absolutely.
And please come back safe, unharmed, and thank you for watching.
I have to look up what time it is in South. I'm assuming it's got to be South Korea. It is 2:19 in the morning right now.
Shout out to the
that
Big
he is
Hurt.
watching. 2:19 in the morning in
That's
South
awesome.
Korea. It's actually Saturday in South Korea.
So who would you draft? Non-quarterback.
I don't know the specific names of players. I wish I had an answer.
Travis Hunter.
That'd be my guy. It'd be Travis Hunter if they're going to be
right, but they're not going to draft that high to get him.
The other name I'll give you, and I'm not so sure on the offensive lineman. I like Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State, and Nick Scourton, the edge rusher from Texas A&M.
Listen, I love Abdul Carter. Listen, man. I like him. If you can get me another monster pass rusher on that opposite side, man, I'll be ready to go. It's kind of nerve-wracking. I'm a little nervous. Is that we had 2. I was always trying to build the defense to have like pillars. I think Grant Delpit is a nice ball player, but the injury to JLK throws a lot of just wrenches. I mean, it just you haven't heard much about it, and when you now that defense was built along creating havoc, speed, and when you take him out to the defense, it's rough.
I went to look at a random mock draft. This one is on CBS. They have them Browns ending up with the 8th pick and taking Mason Graham, defensive lineman from Michigan.
He's a defensive tackle.
By the way, look who they have the Bengals taking at 10.
Abdul Carter.
I didn't see it. Emeka Egbuka. So that means T. Higgins is out
here. I like that. Well, he's definitely out, unfortunately.
Next Super Chat comes from Topo42. The NBA should look to change the rules for the lame cup tournament. If you want to engage for a made-up event, do something more radical. Take away the 3. Do something different.
Why don't they? Have they ever thought? Like I always thought the NBA, like they've never increased the size of the court in the NBA, right? Ever?
No.
Guys are much bigger. They're more athletic. Like, why wouldn't you make the court bigger? And then push out the 3-point line.
Guys are shooting from the half-court line. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Some of the guys warm up like
Right, but if
effortlessly
the
from 40
line was
feet.
further back, you wouldn't have as many guys shooting as threes as often.
I mean, if
By
you
the way,
push
of
it back
course,
2 feet, it's not going to make a difference.